Greetings. We are here to peruse the arcane vaults. Peruse? You're clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? You belong to students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. Suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? May we at least make use of that? Didn't think so. That service has also been suspended, I am afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time it will be too late. We were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let's step outside for the moment, shall we? Seems so Baldessian. Secret society, man. He's gonna snitch on us. To the forum. Or something. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. Its upper layer is called the outer circuit, and the medial circuit lies one tier below us. If they're going to close off facilities, then they ought to announce it. Students must be furious. The forum must be wary of exposure indeed, to so heavily restrict the use of public institutions. We're at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. To integrate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let's ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. The new student. Am I taking the lift? Oh, no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archean, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it's one around tranquility, and so we thought to donate to the vaults. Squeal, squeal. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Wait, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archean is open again. Ernville. You'll help me out again, right, bud? Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. Cloudkin, I need to capture us close, very close. You should help me with this too? Spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. So, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. Now here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cries its distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. Oh, I'm doing this minigame, right? Effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. You got it. No. This. Search for the hornbill. Let's go. Whack, walk, caw, caw. This one. Right? I missed. No. Launch red bird. No. They both caw. Whack, whack. Up, look for the green bird which caws. Oh. Luckily, I didn't hit that bird. I didn't read it. I got it. First try. Look at that. This is just looking for a caw for the birds. I know they're both cawing.
Fair shot. Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
What accent is that? I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
There you are. Any new revelations? So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
They're taking it to the moon. They're taking it, all this stuff to the moon. They're teleporting them.
Oh, it's a simple thing, really.
Oh.
Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose.
Okay. Well, maybe they're not taking the hornbill to the moon, but they're taking the mammoths and the other carrots and whatever to the moon.
Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
Oh. There might still be a shot for my moon theory.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
Like teleporting large amounts of things to a very far away place.
Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
More inclined to believe we're making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts. Or the moon.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistance.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
The box of stuff.
Indeed.
Box.
Pray forget I said anything.
Box of unknown creature.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
Okay, well, I guess we won't use that
This
box.
path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect
I
solution.
will take it.
You're quite welcome.
Thank
But
you.
consider
Annabelle.
yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid...
Oh, dang it. I don't want to do that. I bid you good day. That was it. Okay.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
This is a big tunnel. What the heck? I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing for a moment. That's all. I'm not injured, if you don't count my pride. Zeno, did you know Corral almost took a tunnel back there? She can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. Something is happening to you. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumptions holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Oh snap, it's a cutscene. Do I have enough time for a cutscene? Not really. Dang. Don't be too long. Aha, I know where we are. This is the Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthos is hosts a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of the research go to feed the Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to the Agora. Fruits so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. Gross. It's probably really nasty. I see no news to hear about, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It's possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations worth looking into. What do you say? See where you can coax from the workers, the rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Do we have ought to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via cargo lift, but some of it has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stag crate atop that hill over there. God's hauling the lot up there at the slope. It's a job and a half. What slope? That slope? I don't see any boxes up there. Ah, these snack boxes. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of fruit clothes. ghostly glow.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Who is this? Do I know you? No.
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Tuned to emotion.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest?
I learned about the flowers.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
Oh,
This is all very
what's
fascinating.
that?
But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Is that a forum member?
Isn't that the entrance to the arcade?
Erenville?
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Not.
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice.
It was not as convenient as I thought it was going to be, but it's still very good and convenient.
If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Oh no.
Cryo?
What's going on, Cryo? Are you okay?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
I wonder whatever talked to her earlier has talked to her since.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
I'm guessing that they have talked to her since. Is Cryo still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let her course slip away. See which way Erenville went? I did not. Full report, warts and all. Alzay is not about to let Erenville out of her sight. Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside Archeum. Come, we can still catch him. We've fallen too far behind, and this damned mist won't help matters. Seems your stole wishes to have a word with us. I can still hear it. Yep. This entire time, probably. Hold a moment. I have an idea. Memory serves that colossal wall-like structure is Logiston Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control center. It should have its own lifts with which one could access upper or lower the tiers. Aye, if I were an agent of the forum, it would make it for a convenient meeting place. But even if it happened to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Biddy hop by little toads. Goodness. Am I a toad? Oh snap. Alizé and Alphino. Not accustomed to transfiguration. Worry not, we'll wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along to catch up with Erenville. Just to feel the magic's fading, return to me and I'll refresh the enchantment. And what am I supposed to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be less likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, were there creatures hereabouts in that form, you are essentially defenseless. Can I talk to you? Ribbit, ribbit. I would have enjoyed being a toad for a little while, if only to change the pace. But you should know this right. I'm too preoccupied with other matters. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad and Alley Toad are now accompanying me. Keep them at your side in order to receive close objectives. Talk. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. It would have been so good if they changed their names to Alfie Toad and Alley Toad as well. so weird, but it's great.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work.
Legislator.
So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Charlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
The end of the world, and they want to get to the moon. They want to save themselves, because they're the only true...
In an age long past, Charlayan was charged with a momentous duty.
Oh?
And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
It's a prophecy type of thing.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
The heartbeat makes it so good.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in
Oh
full.
snap, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Very observant there, Anvil. I'm
While I
impressed.
do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
I am impressed. Oh snap.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Oh snap. Okay, okay. That was good. Makes perfect sense. Your tofu forms needs work, baby. I have to pay more attention the next time I see one. Suppose we should have known a gleaner who specialized in animal procurement, but not so easily deceived. Yet he seemed to inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty, the Forum agent mentioned. Charlayan has been called to action, and the Telophore's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it sufficient to import to disrupt all the labyrinth flows, not to mention ignore Aoria's request for aid. Maybe... Maybe my original guess that they have a Hydaelyn-sided Ascian with them is correct, and they're waiting for Zodiac to be resurrected or whatever the heck they're doing so they can end it for real. I have no idea. Alice is staring off into the direction Erenveld has parted. Thoughtful look on her face, guy of sorts. Did I talk to the Alpha? No. If we happen to cross paths with Erenveld again, I should like to thank him properly. Yes. Running dry on the clues. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. Should have begged that you should only corral for the moment to see what they think of this.